I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, so we have the first on the agenda, number 1A, public comments. And at this time, we have not received any public comments prior to or even up until this point in time. So that now brings us to the minutes from the September 16th meeting. Those have been distributed. Is there a motion for approval?
Make a motion to approve the minutes as distributed for the September 16th meeting of the Pine Barrens Commission.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Supervisor Schneiderman. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion is carried. Thank you. Okay, the next item is we have with us today Christopher Lindberg, who is currently our Wildfire Task Force Chair. He has served admirably in that position for several years. Mr. Lindberg had his full-time position had been with the Fire Department of New York, from which he retired earlier this year. And up until the present time, he has served as the chief of the Maniville Fire Department. He has been a terrific leader. He's really helped to advance the Commission's mission to address wildfire response, and wildfire prevention. And he is retiring from his position as Wildfire Task Force Chair. And we regrettably are accepting his retirement and his resignation from that position. But we'd like to present him with a token of the Commission's appreciation. And just showing that for the Commission, this award states, Award of Merit presented with grateful appreciation to Chris Lindberg, Chairman, Central Pine Barrens Wildfire Task Force, and grateful appreciation for your work to facilitate advancements in the areas of wildfire prevention, wildfire response, and prescribed fire management in the Central Pine Barrens as Chairman of the Central Pine Barrens Wildfire Task Force. Your leadership and support has been vital to the mission of the Commission and has helped ensure the continued protection of the Central Pine Barrens region and its residents. Presented this day by the Central Pine Barrens Joint Planning and Policy Commission, October 21st, 2020. So, Chris, I'm sorry that you couldn't join us in person today because of the current COVID restrictions, but this is something that we are so happy to be able to give you this token of our appreciation and thank you for your very laudable service for these past several years. We wish you well in your retirement and Godspeed. So thank you very, very much, Chris. I know, Chris, if you wanted to say a few words, and we will be getting this to you in person very shortly.
Well, I'd just like to say thank you very much, to the Commission, to the town of Brookhaven, town of Riverhead, town of Southampton. Working with you all over the last couple of years has been a great experience for me. It was something that I never really thought about doing until the position opened up, and I really, truly loved it. I love the work that you guys do. I'm a huge supporter of the Pine Barrens and keeping them Pine Barrens. So, congratulations to all of you for all the work that you do. It was really fulfilling and rewarding for me to work with you all and, try to make it better and, promote what we do. So thank you all very much. It is very much appreciated.
Chris, thank you for your service from the town of Brookhaven. And as the former chief of the Maniville Fire Department, I want to thank you for all you've done for the community and for this commission.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chris. And we'll have to touch base with you soon.
Okay, thank you, John. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you again.
Good luck, everybody.
I'm sorry. On behalf of Riverhead, I mimic my colleague Romaine. Thank you.
John, I didn't get any of that, so I'm not sure what the supervisor said.
I'm sorry, Supervisor Aguirre, could you please just repeat what you said? Thank you.
Good job and good luck.
Thank you, Mr. Romaine.
The supervisor of the town of Riverhead thanked you personally, wished you well, and echoed Supervisor Romaine's comments.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Ditto from Southampton.
And the
Thank you very
county.
much, sir. And the county.
Yes, and from Riverhead likewise, and service and best of luck as you move on to a new phase in your life.
Yeah, thank you. I'll be hanging my hat in South Carolina shortly.
Oh, South Carolina, the Palmetto State. So
Yes,
listen,
sir.
Suffolk is all fired up over all that you've done, and we're sure that you're going to set South Carolina ablaze as well.
Let's hope not.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much, folks. All right, the second award we have is for Carol Scholl-Ostrowski. Carol, as you know, has been the longtime administrative assistant to the commission. And Carol is
I think
here
it's the
live and
internet.
in person, so which is rather unusual in this time of COVID. So we have an award for her. It's an award of distinction presented with grateful appreciation to Carol Scholl-Ostrowski, Administrative Assistant, Central Pine Barrens Joint Planning and Policy Commission. In grateful appreciation of the body of accomplishments you have created during your tenure and for the significant work you performed with dedication, devotion, and tirelessness since 2006 to advance and support the mission of the Central Pine Barrens Joint Planning and Policy Commission. Your substantial efforts to further the protection and preservation of the Central Pine Barrens area and its significant natural resources, and the support you provided to the Commission, Protected Lands Council, Advisory Committee, and Pine Barrens Credit Clearinghouse have been essential and have helped ensure the Central Pine Barrens region will continue to thrive for future generations. Presented this day by the Central Pine Barrens Joint Planning and Policy Commission, October 21st, 2020. All right. Thank you very much, Carol. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's beautiful, and I don't know what to say. I didn't expect this, but it's wonderful, and it's going to hang next to my desk in my bedroom. That's where my desk is, actually.
Very, very well. Thank you so much.
Good luck, Carol. We'll miss you.
Carol,
Thank you.
we're gonna miss you.
I'm going to miss everybody here, too, and at the meetings. I enjoyed my tenure here immensely, and I'm very thankful that I was able to take care of this staff for all these years. I love them dearly. They're my second family.
Thank you so much, folks. And thank you again, Carol. So the next item on the agenda is 2A, the Suffolk County Hike and Bike Master Plan. I believe we have a presentation from the Suffolk County Department of Economic Development and Planning, but this will be introduced by Julie Hargrave first.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Just to give you a quick overview, and again, the Suffolk County Department of Economic and Development and Planning are here, Ankita Rathi and Jonathan Keys. They will make a presentation to you. But just wanted to go over this quickly. In July 2019, approximately around that time, we became aware of a project called the Empire State Trail, and that travels from the Canadian border to New York City. And around that time, we learned that the Trust for Public Land is undertaking the planning work for extending the Empire State Trail 175 miles through Long Island. Currently, they're working, the Trust for Public Land, on a pilot project segment from Eisenhower Park in Nassau County to Bethpage to Edgewood Preserve. and those segments through the Central Pine Barrens are way in the future and several years away, and those require planning, engineering, and funding to plan those routes. So in the meantime, the Trust for Public Land informed the Commission staff about a more immediate project related to that effort being undertaken by the county, a planning study called the Hike Bike Master Plan that also travels through the Central Pine Barrens. And this study is a proposed network of on-road and off-road bike facilities, shared use paths, and sidewalks to implement connectivity of those uses throughout Long Island, or throughout Suffolk County. And obviously this travels through the Central Pine Barrens. So this is relevant to the Commission because there are segments of the existing dirt paths and trails, off-road trails, and utility corridors that may be in the future proposed to be paved or widened and become more formalized to accommodate different recreational uses and user groups under this plan. The Commission may want to be involved in planning of those paths and provide some feedback based on your expertise and knowledge of this region, and offer comments on the construction and implementation of those segments. So there may be concerns on about erosion and ATV use and access and clearing, among other items. So we wanted to bring this to your attention for a while, but there were other priorities at the forefront. And we learned about it last year, and I have attended a couple of meetings to learn more about this project. And the study was completed in March of this year. So today, again, we have the county representatives, and they will make a brief presentation to you on this project. Thank you.
Thank you, Julie. Would you be able to put the slides up, or you want me to share my screen?
You're welcome to share your screen. You can share your screen.
Okay. I don't have an option to share my screen. I think only the hosts have that option.
Then we have your presentation then queued up if you want us to show that.
Oh, wait. I figured it out. Sorry. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Are you sharing the screen? Because we could do it if you'd like, whatever works.
I just shared my screen.
Share it, Julie. It's
okay.
shared.
Yeah, we have it. Polly brought it up. Okay.
Okay. Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ankita Rathi. Jonathan Keys could not make it to this meeting due to a conflict. I'm a planning consultant at the county, and I was PM for this project. And thank you again, Julie, for reaching out to us and the commission for this opportunity to come and present the plan. I understand we have 10 to 15 minutes today, so I have a brief presentation, but I and Jonathan are happy to discuss any concerns we have offline via emails as needed if we are not able to take those during the presentation. That said, let me start. So the Suffolk County Hike Bike Master Plan was an idea to kind of make an inventory of existing active transportation assets the county had, get more stakeholder input from the community, what they desire, and putting both of those things together, identify opportunities which would link the existing resources, the planned trail assets, as well as what could be done leveraging those assets. So we started with assessing the existing conditions. We had very detailed existing conditions maps, which documented several type of facilities. So we documented hiking trails, biking trails, on-road bicycle facilities, shared use paths. We were not able to document sidewalks. It was something which was not achievable through the funds we had. But apart from that, we were able to kind of document remaining type of PED infrastructure we have. The entire project was supported with a very exhaustive community engagement input. So we had an online public input map, which is still on hikebikesuffolk.com. If you go and visit, you won't be able to go in and provide your input anymore since the study is closed, but it will give you a view into what inputs we got. So we got like hundreds of point as well as line projects. So what we asked the public to provide us was point projects. Point projects were projects where you have a very small location-based improvement. It could be as simple as adding a trail map at a trail, or improving a connection from a trail to an on-road facility, or having a PED activated signal at a pedestrian crossing where you see more PED activity. So those were point projects. And then we had line projects, which the community could submit, which were more like you could draw a linear line on the map and you can indicate that is your desired connection. And the community or the stakeholders who provided their input, they were able to indicate what kind of facility they desired along that alignment. Other opportunities included pop-up events. So we had 3 pop-up events at various locations where we had tables set up. We were there with flyers, large scale maps. We asked people to come over, see what's existing, where they would want to see more. So that was 3 of those events. Plus we had a very, very active Hike Bike Technical Advisory Committee. And Julie did attend few of those. And like the Hike Bike Technical Advisory Committee included town planners from various towns, hike and bike enthusiasts and advocates who really know what it takes to hike or bike in the county, what are the constraints and where the opportunities lie. We had staff from county DPW who could actually indicate what's actually feasible, what could be done within their capital improvement plans, what was recently done, and redoing something was not feasible. So we wanted their input as well. And we have park representatives and local planning organizations as well. So gathering all this.
It's Julie. Could you just tell us what slide you would like? You're sharing the screen. Are you advancing through the slides? Because
no, I'm still at the first slide.
Okay, thank you.
And it's the slide which has a report view, like the front page of the report on the right side.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So where was I'm so sorry, I lost my thread. But okay, so we had a lot of input at various stages of the project. So we assessed the existing conditions, we identified network gaps, we developed various trail typologies because we wanted the infrastructure in the county to be kind of consistent. So we developed trail typologies for on-road bike facility, for an off-road bike facility, which could be used when we move down the lane and then when we are ready to design for those corridors. In addition to that, we had a preliminary cost estimates done. We identified few funding sources which we could apply to, and O&M strategies. The final report is on the Connect Long Island website. If you go to the reports page, you will find the master plan report up there. This slide graphically just gives a very brief summary of how this network came into place. So as I discussed, we had a lot of comments. We had around 200 plus members of public engaged. We had around 700 to 800 project ideas, which were submitted by the public. Once we had those ideas together, we identified where these connections need to happen. And for that purposes, we established something called nodes. So we had over 1,000 nodes spread throughout the county, which included train stations, regional employment centers, downtowns, ferry terminals, places where people have a desire to bike to, parks. And the consultant helped us to identify what are the connections between each of these nodes and what is actually facilitated by the existing facilities and what we can do to make the connectivity better. Once we had a network drawn, which you can see on the figure on the left top. So the black things are the nodes, and you can see faint lines. Those are the desired lines. And we
Excuse me, ma'am. Excuse me. You're not
Yes.
advancing the slides as far as I can tell. So we're still on
they
the
are-
cover sheet.
Oh, they are advancing on my machine.
Okay, unless I'm misreading them.
Do you see a flow chart?
No,
I
we're
see-
not.
No, I just see Bob Casey.
We just see the cover, the first slide.
Yeah, I'm
Oh.
sorry to interrupt.
No, I'm sorry. I don't know why.
There we go.
No, but this
Okay,
is
now you're on slide 4. Thank you.
okay. I will just run it without the presentation mode.
Okay.
Okay.
So now
So-
we see the slide, Suffolk County Hike Bike Master Plan with flow charts, safety
Yes.
greater than 4,000, high school. Yep, great.
Okay. So
Pie chart.
yeah, I'm really sorry. I don't know what.
No, now you're on board. We're all, when you're walking the trail, it takes a lot of time sometimes, so we're good now.
Okay. So I just talked about the tasks we took, and then I talked about how we had pop-up events, the online map, and the input we got, and then we added 1,000 nodes. So this is the figure which, like, we added so many nodes, and then we identified the gaps in the network so that we could serve these nodes. And then, like, once we had those alignments, there were a lot of alignments. So there has to be some way how we prioritize those alignments. So we came up with an impact analysis criteria. So we considered safety, connectivity, equity, design, economic development, and health as the primary 6 criteria. And then we mapped each of them, we overlaid everything on top of each other. And then every project had a score of between 0 to 100. Most of them were between 40 and 75. Few were like on the higher side, few were on the lower side. And then based on those scores, we came up with a prioritized hike bike network. So these are about 1,200 miles of linear project recommendations, which includes on-road bike facilities, off-road shared use paths. Some are pedestrian improvements, some are trail improvements, but this is what the entire network looks like. And I know it's a very busy, a very large scale map to look at, but again, if you go back to the website and you download the report, it has a high resolution map. We are also working within the department to develop a web-based app, which should be done within a few weeks. I will make sure you guys have the link. So with the web app, you could actually zoom in, have a base map underlay, and you can look at those things really clearly. But we are working on it, and just give us a few more weeks for the web map. So this is the western half of the county. What you see in dashed lines are the proposed alignments, and what you see in solid lines are the alignments which are existing on ground today. Everything in blue is bike facilities, either a bike lane or a bike route or an on-road bike route, and everything in purple, everything in purple which is dashed are the proposed bike lanes. Everything in green which is dashed, which you see here, are shared use paths. This is the eastern half of the county. So I know we are here today to talk about the Pine Barrens area, and I have a more zoomed in, more clearer map for that. So the orange dotted line, which you see on the screen, is the Long Island EST extension, which is the Long Island Greenway, which Julie introduced earlier. That project is a parallel project, which is a much more larger scale project than the Hike and Bike Master Plan. But we do support the Long Island Greenway, but there were few alignments which we felt could be done better. And if you compare their alignment with ours, you will see few changes. For example, we did get input that the alignment through the the alignment through the South Haven County part was not desirable. So we added an on-road segment, the one which my cursor is moving on, to avoid that segment. So there are small changes here and there which has been made to the Long Island Greenway, but I would say largely the alignment for the EST has been incorporated into the Hike Bike Master Plan. As you see in the legend, the greens are shared use paths, the blues are bike facilities, and the purples are bike lanes with signage. I know this is a lot to look at, so if anybody has any questions now, or if there are any questions or concerns that we want to discuss, maybe later, we are happy to discuss. The next step for the Hike and Bike Master Plan was to identify a couple of projects that we can advance to conceptual design. Conceptual design includes more engagement with the community. So in this case, this is one of the projects out of the 7 projects that we are intending to proceed for conceptual design. This is along County Road 51. So what the conceptual design process will include will be another set of community engagement stakeholders, which are local and which are affected by this alignment would be engaged further. We will determine the feasibility of which typology works best for this alignment. So we are considering bike facilities, but we don't really know if buffered bike facilities would work through the entire alignment, or maybe some alignment is buffered bike facilities, some is on-road bike facilities. So that is what the conceptual design phase will help us understand by studying the alignment, making more detailed analysis of the right-of-way, getting more stakeholder input, and so that will help us do that. So if you see that alignment, it connects to New York State Bicycle Route 24 on the north. And then there are various assets along this alignment, which we felt were really conducive to people who bike, and it could be a really nice path. So it connects you to the Eastport Conservation Area, which has a bike trail. It also connects you to various other paths like Pomenock Path, Foot Trail. You have the Preserve Toppings Path and other trails within the Pine Barrens area. Apart from that, it also provides access to the Suffolk County Community College, as well as the Suffolk County Riverhead Complex. These both are good trip generators. So that's another mobility option for people who either work or visit these complexes. And as I discussed ahead, we had a 6 criteria impact scoring for each of the projects. And this project was one of the higher end scorers on the entire project. This scored at the scale of 75. We really want to at least get it into the conceptual design stage. And we are hoping that this could be one of the first projects where we introduce, or we at least explore hike and bike trails in a way that is appropriate and sensitive to the Pine Barrens area. And in some way, it promotes better awareness and stewardship that could be a win-win for both, for active transportation users as well as the Pine Barrens area. So again, happy to discuss more now or once you guys have a chance to look at this with more time, but happy to discuss. And on this slide, I have contacts for Jonathan Keys and myself. You can reach out to any of us for more information, questions, clarifications. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Anika.
Thank you very much for the presentation. Do the commission members, any commission members have any questions? This time, seeing looks like none. Or Marty have one? No? Okay. All right, it looks like, so thank you very much for that presentation. We will now move on to item 3A, Lewis Road Planned Residential Development. And Julie will present.
Thank you. This item is on the agenda to schedule a public hearing for next month, November 18th. More specifically to have the public and the commission address the most recent submission on October 9th. And that has been distributed to the commission and to the public. It's on the website. Is the commission prepared to schedule a hearing on this item?
So I think just before we go
John,
to that.
I'm sorry, John, do you want to just set up that thank you, Julie, for that brief introduction. The commission received on October 9th a modification of certain elements of the project. So the proposal is to have a new limited public hearing to address the modifications of the project which have been posted on the website. The hearing was originally closed, so this is because the project has been modified to address those modifications in the context of the whole project.
Thank you, John. Appreciate that clarification.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, Supervisor Schneiderman made that motion. Is there a second? Second from Mr. Dale. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Oh, yeah, all right. Okay.
Here we go. I came back in time.
So
What?
we have a bit of an echo, but John, if you could just do me a favor, or Julie.
No, I should be opposed.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so we have three in favor of scheduling the hearing. It's Supervisor Schneiderman, Mr. Dale, and Supervisor Aguirre, and Brookhaven Supervisor Romaine is opposed. So the motion carries.
Julie, can you just can you provide a quick overview only with respect to schedule on this project with the deadlines that are facing the commission and the the applicant?
The current decision deadline, it was extended to January 20th, 2021. And
that's it then.
Something else? Yeah.
No, that's it.
Well, so if the hearing occurs November 18th, the commission could deliberate the project at their December meeting, which is December. Come up.
16.
Thank you, John. December 16th, or at some time before or after. The way you were going to have a meeting September 11th, that was canceled to deliberate the decision. But there will be one meeting between the hearing and maybe there will be a comment period. There will be a December meeting, and then the January 20th meeting is the current decision deadline.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Next item is item 3B, Island Water Park Site Plan Amendments Application. And this is in regard to Town of Riverhead Secret Lead Agency Coordination. Ms. Hargrave.
There's a draft letter in the e-packet that is to the Town of Riverhead to clarify what the commission said on their September 16th letter about in the response to the seeker coordination that the Town of Riverhead performed for this site plan amendment to Island Water Park. The commission did not object to the town planning board being lead agency and had made some general comments that the decision that the commission made in 2011 and then amended in 2013. At a minimum, it's likely that would need to be amended to reflect the current plans And secondly, that decision is currently expired because it expired in March of this year after a number of extensions after the 2013 amendment. And also that the applicant really needs to provide a demonstration of conformance for this project. That would be helpful to the commission to make sure that no substantial changes have been made to the decision that was made by the commission that would interfere with the compliance of the project with the standards. So those items, compliance review, an extension on the decision, and an amendment to the waiver are necessary. So that's what we expressed in the draft letter that's in your package.
So all we're voting on today is to send the letter to Riverhead, is that correct?
That's
Right.
correct.
I believe so. Now, I believe that there's going to be some discussion on this. So is there a motion of some sort that on this particular
Yes.
matter?
Yes, John.
Aguirre.
Yes, thank you. I would like to table this item, 3B, until the next meeting. I recently received some details of this project. It's under review by my office at the current time. I've had a short notice to entirely review this item. There is a long history with legal determinations, and I need to fully understand the issue or the issues at hand. Therefore, I'm requesting that my colleagues afford me the opportunity to table this item until our next meeting.
Are you making that as a motion?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
I'll second that motion.
Hang on one second. We don't have, so there's no, there wasn't a motion. There was only, I'm sorry. Supervisor Romaine did not make a motion to issue the letter. He just brought it up as a conversation. So I'm not sure you need a motion to table because there's nothing to table. If the commission directs staff not to send a letter, you can just direct that. You don't actually need a motion. The motion to table just isn't there to amend anything. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Oh, and it's perfect. So that would be my request to the commission.
Julia, is there a timeline for this?
No, the commission already responded to the seeker coordination, and the commission has not received any direct submission of an application from the applicant. The decision is already expired, so that's an issue that's just still out there. I apologize. We did hear yesterday from the consultant. I have to reach out to them again, Tom Kramer, about this project, and I think they want to submit some material. So I need to get in contact with him. He emailed us yesterday, but there's no deadline right now. We have no application before the commission.
So,
so in light of that, John, I think that it almost seems that as if it's not ripe for commission action at this time. So the supervisor has made a request for a month or so to do a little more research on her side, a little more homework, which seems perfectly appropriate if the commission wants to grant that request to their colleague. There wouldn't be any further action, and we could revisit this next month if that's the will of the commission.
So not hearing anything to the contrary, it appears we'll just hold on to this until the November meeting at this point.
Okay,
Sounds
Okay.
good.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
thank you.
Our next item is item 3C, Joseph F. Gaza, Core Hardship Application, Dorgrave.
This
Great
item is
letter.
on. Thank you.
I'm being facetious.
For Gaza. Okay, yeah. The e-packet included some material that Mr. Gaza submitted on Pine Barrens credits issue that he brought up at the public hearing. But this item is on to just close the hearing, which occurred last month, and it's on for a deadline for decision next month, November 18th.
Where is he on the acquisition? My understanding.
I think, Supervisor,
The county are buying these parcels.
I think
Ed, we're in contract with Joe. He signed a contract with Suffolk County, and right now it's in your office to be signed.
Right, I know, we're ready to go ahead with this as well. So like, this letter is like, you know, all right, you want to be insulting, that's fine, but you're selling the land. And so it may not be dealt with by this commission. Is that fair, Janet, to say that? Thank you.
I think all that needs to be done today is to have the hearing closed, and it's on for an action deadline of next month.
Make a
So
motion.
does that need is there a resolution to close the hearing? Julie, do we need a resolution to close the hearing? Didn't it automatically expire at a certain period?
Well, I believe that at the hearing, the commission said that they would close the hearing at this meeting, so.
I thought that was self-operative.
Close the hearing.
Yeah, it's self-operative in that there was a deadline if the commission, if comments weren't received as of today, it's expired. So the hearing is now deemed closed. I think that's appropriate.
Just acknowledge to close it. Okay.
Yep. Because it's, yeah. And then next month it'll be a decision deadline. And I don't think there's any further action needed on Mr. Gaza.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for that clarification. All right, the next item is item 3D, the credit program, proposed revisions to reserve rights section of the standard conservation easement. Mr. Milazzo.
Okay, thank you. In our processing of Pine Barrens applications, we prepare conservation easements for consideration by the applicant for credits. We prepare these and we send it to them. They're always being reviewed by staff, and we're proposing several changes to the reserve rights section of the easement. The current easement references Article 57, 107.13, and specific reserve rights, which I'm sorry to cut myself off this time. The reserve rights are the things that the owner of the property can do with the land after the easement is placed on the land. So remember, the conservation easement is essentially a promise from the landowner to the commission that they'll use the property in certain ways, and they're going to relinquish the right to do other things on the property. So they give up the right to subdivide, they give up the right to build a house, and the key is always what reserve rights do they retain. So these are things that they can do without further commission approval. The commission to date has allowed the reserve rights for allowing the public improvements undertaken for health, safety, and welfare of the public, which are consistent with the objectives of the goals of the title, including maintenance of existing roads or railroad tracks. We haven't run into a situation where an easement's been placed on a road or a railroad track, so we think that that should be stricken from the reserve rights. The next one is work by any utility not involving a substantial engineering redesign for the purpose of inspection, maintenance, or renewal on established rights of way. The work of relating to public water. We think we haven't had that application, so I think that should, the recommendation from staff is to remove that. And the last is for maintenance, renewal, replacement, reconstruction of any existing structure or additions to existing residence. So what we're suggesting is the template easement have those three reserve rights which are currently in place removed, which does not preclude an applicant from coming in saying, I have a house that I'm putting an easement on, or I want a farm and I want to retain that right, from negotiating a custom easement. It's just to have our standard easement not include those rights. So if that meets with your approval, I would suggest a resolution authorizing the removal of those three reserve rights from the standard conservation easement on a going forward basis for any easement that's accepted by the commission after this day. And again, if there's an applicant with a unique situation, for example, if a person owns a 100-acre farm and the applicant wants to retain that right to farm it, she could make that application to us. She could correspond with us during the Pine Barren Credit Easement process, and we would bring it to your attention for your consideration. For example, Peconic River Sportsman's Club, the Long Island Country Club are examples of people that have retained certain rights. So this is just on the standard, it's really not applicable to most property because, if you're a 20 by 100 lot miles away from an existing improved road, that's really the lion's share of your easements on those type of properties.
I will make that motion as long as I don't have to state it.
The motion will be to make the changes to remove the reserve rights under sections 1, 2, and 7.
Thank you. That's my motion.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor Schneiderman.
Is there a second? Second for Mr. Dale. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And none opposed. Okay, no abstentions. Thank you. Motion passes. The last item is public comment received since the start of the meeting. And it appears we have not received any other public comments. So this brings us to the end of our regular agenda. We do have need to go into closed advisory session, so I believe at this point I'd ask for a motion to close the public portion of the meeting, go into advisory session, and we will not be coming back out of advisory session into the public portion.
Motion.
Motion from Mr. Romaine. Is there a second? Second from Mr. Dale. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, motion carries. We are now in advisory session. Thank you very much.
And we call in for that.
Yes, you do. Thank you.
Okay.
We'll be talking to you shortly.
So we'll leave this meeting and call right in.
That's correct.
Okay.
Thank you.